everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a back to school makeup look, and it's this look right here. I know it's looking a bit natural, but that is the point. So if you want to see what products I use to get this look and how to get this look yourself, then keep watching. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to apply some moisturizer to both your lips and your face. I've already got mine on because I'm letting it sink in before I do the next step, and I'm using the Eucerin Daily Protection that has an SPF of 30. You can use any moisturizer you want on your face, whatever your favorite moisturizer is, but I want to use this one because for a back to school look, you're going to be in school, and you're going to be, if you're in high school, switching classes, if you have it in different buildings, college, same thing, going from building to building, so you're going to be out in the sun quite a bit, and if you are, then you're going to want something, a moisturizer with an SPF in it. And for my lips, I popped a little bit of an EOS ball. Again, any kind of moisturizer will work. I have like a Nivea one that has a little bit of SPF, and you're going to let that sink in while you do the rest of your makeup. Okay, so for me, the first thing that I'm going to use is a primer, and I'm using the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer because I do have rather larger pores, and this kind of just gives it like a nice matte kind of silky coverage right there. Basically, you know, the makeup won't sink into my pores as much, and it'll kind of glide over a little bit. So I'm going to tilt my mirror the other way a little bit, and I'm going to scoot this out of my way so I can scoot my mirror a bit closer so that I'm not leaning out of the camera as much as I usually am. I'm trying to get better about that for you guys. So I'm just basically rubbing this in my T-zone because that's where my large pores are. I'm not really putting it towards the outside of my face because I don't really have large pores on the outside of my face. If you happen to suffer from larger pores, then the Baby Skin is a product that you will really enjoy because it really does cover. Another alternative is Dr. Brand's Pores No More or Benefits the Porefessional. But this is a nice drugstore alternative that works really well. So the next thing we're going to move to is foundation. Now for a back to school look, you're going to want to pick a foundation that's going to last for you. Now might be a good time to switch back from BB creams to foundations because they do tend to last a bit longer than a BB cream does. My favorite one is the CoverGirl Outlast 3-in-1 foundation. They still sell this in the stores and in the drugstores. It is a great drugstore foundation. It has primer, concealer, foundation, and it has SPF of 20, so you're getting a little bit of extra coverage. And for me, this one really lasts and stays put. So I'm going to give it a bit of a shake in case any separation has occurred since last time I've used it, because I have been really focusing on BB creams for the summer just because they're not as heavy as a foundation is. And I find that this foundation is really good because it's not a heavier foundation. It gives really good coverage without being super heavy on the skin. So I popped a little bit on the back of my hand, and you can really use any brush, but I want to use a brush because, you know, you're back to school, you're back in classes, you don't want to have lines and patchiness. So I want to use a brush that has, you know, that really blends the foundation in really well. And I'm going to use the Sigma F82, which looks like that. And I'm going to use this one because it really buffs the foundation into my skin. And like I said, you don't want to have any lines or anything like that. Oh, and for the moisturizer, a lot of people don't think of this, but you want to take that all the way over to the tops of your ears as well. That is one place that often gets forgotten in the makeup and in the moisturizer. And especially if your moisturizer has an SPF in there, that way the tips of your ears don't get sunburned if you're going to have your hair pulled back for any portion of the day. I know that sometimes happens to mine. I'll totally forget to put some sunscreen on there, and I'll have my hair pulled back, and the tops of my ears wind up getting so sunburnt. And then they hurt. And as you notice, my skin is kind of really lightening up. And that is because my face is a bit darker than my neck, and you want your foundation to match your neck, not anything else. You know, you want your head to match the rest of your body. So unless you've got fake tan on or self-tanner or anything like that, you really want to get a foundation that's going to match from here to here really, really well. So you don't want this to be lighter than this is going to be. So don't pick a foundation that is the shade you want to be. Pick a foundation that is the shade that you're going to be, that you actually are, because you're going to want to actually match while you're in classes. And just run this because we're not going to use an eye primer. We're just going to run the foundation over our eyes to take out any veins or anything that may be there. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take a cream eyeshadow. And it could be any kind of cream eyeshadow you want. It could be a Maybelline Color Tattoo. It could be a NYX eye pencil. It can really be anything you want it to be. I'm actually using Benefit's Bikini Teeny, which is just a kind of pinky cream shade. And this is really the only thing that I'm going to be using eyeshadow wise. And the reason for this is that I want something that's not going to be too high maintenance, and it's not going to be too hard to keep. You know, this is one that I know is going to stay there all day. It's not going to run away. You know, the colors aren't going to blend out, and it's just something that's super quick. If you're running late, you woke up late, you can totally just pop this on with your finger. If you want to, you can give it a little blend with a blending brush, which is what I am about to do as soon as I grab this makeup wipe and wipe that extra off my hand. I'm using the Sigma E40. It's just a tapered brush, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to give that a little buff over. Because you don't want it to be too shiny, but you do want it to have a little bit. It's really the only thing I'm going to do eyeshadow wise. Now you can add just a base brown color like Naked from the Naked palette, or just, you know, any kind of brown matte color, and rock that right through your socket for a crease color, and take it kind of on the outside if you want to do like a smoky look. But I really want to keep this real simple and basic and not too kind of out there. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on some mascara. You can use any mascara you want, but I'm using CoverGirl's Be a Bombshell. And it's got the two-step part. So I'm going to take the first step, and I'm just going to pop that over both eyelashes on the top lashes only. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and while that's drying, oops, I hit my mirror. I'm actually going to come in with my bottom lash mascara, which I use the Clinique Bottom Lash. This is really good for just getting in there and lengthening those bottom lashes without taking that big wand from whatever mascara you're using. This is $10. You get tons of uses out of it. And trust me, if you buy this, you will love it. And like every other person in the world, I totally tip my head downwards. Alright, now that that's had a little bit of a chance to dry, I'm going to go in with number 2 side on both of my top lashes. Alright, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Benefit Gimme Brows. You can use anything to fill in your brows. You can use a NYX brow gel, you can use an eyeshadow, you can use really just a brow wiz, an eyeliner pencil, just whatever you want to use. Just what you want to do is you want to make sure that they're filled in so that any bare spots are no longer bare, and that they kind of have a similar shape to each other. You know, you don't want them to look the exact same, but you don't want this one to be really thin looking and this one to be like rah, rah, rah at you. So you want to kind of fill them in to match in any spots. But don't go too heavy handed on it, and you want to kind of flick if you're using a pencil to make it look like you've got some real hairs going on. And then I'm going to set that with some Anastasia clear brow gel. And I recommend you doing this whether you're using a liquid product or a eyeshadow, or if you're just using this just to tame the brows, and you're not planning on using any filler, but you need something to at least set those into place, and you would not believe the difference that nothing on your eyebrows and something on your eyebrows will do for you. After that, I'm going to take my concealer, and I'm using Ready Set Gorgeous. And I'm going to do this right under the eyes to kind of brighten my eyes a little bit. And I'm kind of going to do just like a little triangle and fill that in a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing over here, just kind of trying to brighten up that area. And I'm going to take a Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, and I'm going to use that to bring that up a bit and just kind of buff that in. And I find this one works really well for getting up in that area. It kind of just has that natural movement to it. Now we're going to pop the glasses back on so we can see. And we're going to flip the mirror because we don't need the magnified area anymore. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a blush. And I'm going to use a cream blush. This is Rimmel's Stay Blushed in Apricot Glow. And the reason that I'm using a cream product is because it's going to last you a bit longer. A powder product will stay, but it has a chance of kind of wearing off before the end of your day. So I'm going to take this just a little bit, because this a little bit goes a long way on this one. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take the Real Techniques contour brush. Looks like this, just got a little dome tip, and I'm only going to pick up just a little bit of that. And I'm just going to start kind of rubbing that in on the apples of my cheeks and kind of pulling up and away. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm going to put it on this side. And you want them to kind of match. You don't want one to be kind of really rosy and the other one to have like nothing going on. So, and you don't want it to be a strip. You kind of want it to be natural and just kind of fade towards the hairline. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little bit of a matteness to it, and I'm going to use my Rimmel Stay Matte in Transparent, and I'm just going to use a Real Techniques powder brush. It's nice, big, and fluffy. I'm going to swirl that in, and then I'm going to tap off. And here you're just setting it. You're going to make sure this lasts. This also makes sure that that liquid or cream foundation that you used does not transfer to like your cell phone. I don't know about you, but I hate when that happens. You're using the phone, you take it away, and you got that nasty smear. From where you were just touching the phone. It's disgusting. And I find that a setting powder kind of helps with that a lot. And you kind of want to bring it down your neck as well to kind of give your neck the same texture that the rest of your face has. You don't want this to kind of be matte and this is all shiny down here. You want the whole thing to match. The thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a color stick from Neutrogena. It's the Moisture Smooth Stick, and this happens to be in Sweet Watermelon. That's what it's going to look like. And this one lasts really well. It is super easy to throw in your bag. On your way to school. And it'll keep your lips super hydrated. There we go. And that is our finished back to school look. As you can tell, it's a more natural look, so you look like you normally naturally would, but with a little bit more oomph to it. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye!